Oh, I am on. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. It's great to have you all here. Thank you for coming. How's your day been so far? You've been to lots of sessions? Lots? Better than me. I've been to none. Oh, well, thank you so much. I'll pay you on the way out. Okay, so why are we all here now? We're here because we all want to learn how we can get financially fit to strive and thrive in your business. So to ensure that you guys are here today and tomorrow and not just, for a short time. So it's all about using QuickBooks as a product to simplify your life. So my name is Lielette Calleja, and a little bit about me. I'm the director and founder of a business called All That Counts. I do have 25 years experience in the accounting world. I've never worked for a chartered firm. I think that would bore me. So I've only ever worked for corporates and SMBs. And in the last 12 years running All That Counts, we've pretty much been coaching and working with small business owners to help them simplify their life using systems like QuickBooks. I am a trainer and writer for QuickBooks as well, so hence why I'm probably standing up here. And Business Person of the Year in the Hills District in Sydney, and Bookkeeping Firm of the Year finalist as well. We'll find out next week if we are a winner. Plus, as well as having my own bookkeeping business, I actually own another business. It's a cafe. So I can completely relate to you guys, not just from a person who understands numbers, but also someone who's dealt with lots of challenges when it comes to small business. So, connecting socially. That's me. If you'd like to connect or ask any questions later, feel free. I'm all about being social, because if it's not on social, it never happened. You know that. Oh, thank you, Ian. Good to see you. Okay, so, pardon? Oh, well, I hope it's worth it. Okay, so effectively, what do? We help small business owners implement technology to manage their business. If you think about all the technology you use in your business, it's about helping you manage your business so much better. Whether that's finance operations, it's about bringing it all together to the core and to the heart of the accounting system. Okay, the accounting system is just a very small component about, when it comes to running your business. So what we're going to address today is how can we use QuickBooks to simplify your life? Rules for today: you must have an open mind. You don't know what you don't know, okay? And you've been to lots of other sessions, and I'm hoping that you walked away with some great takeaways. The sky, well, in our case, the cloud is your limit. Everything we do these days is in the cloud. So be inspired and learn something new, okay? It's really about just, if you walk away here with one little thing, that's fantastic. And it may have nothing to do with QuickBooks. It could just be something I've said and rambled on about. So this is the second time I've delivered this session today, so I can't guarantee I'll be saying the same stuff. Okay, rules for tomorrow. You must focus on the things that count, the things that matter. Don't be bogged down and weighed on the things that don't count anymore, okay? Look at ways how you can automate your businesses, because that's what's important. If when you do things at the right time in the right order, that's when things fall into place. So this is a smaller group. We had a full house in the earlier session. And it was a lot easier to do this. I actually asked people to talk to the person on their left or right, and just to share with that person what your biggest challenge was when you first started in business, and what were you afraid of, what stood in your way. So whether you haven't started a business or you have, what are some of those challenges that you encounter? So feel free just to talk amongst yourselves. We'll give you about a minute, and then I want you to also want you to focus on where are you now as well. So how did you overcome those challenges? Because before we can talk about our solutions, we need to understand our challenges. So life is all about connecting. So why don't we just connect now for about a minute, and I'll just, I know but you might want to talk to there, and you might want to talk to the two ladies behind you. Just share with them what some of those challenges are. So let's go. Okay. Maybe at the end. Okay. Another 30 seconds, guys. You're a perfect business. Would you like to stay? Okay, wonderful. Okay, we'll wrap that up. So, how do you feel? Just sharing, connecting. Business is all about connections. It's all about connecting with people day in, day out. And guess what else business is all about? Challenges, facing challenges every single day. What might be a big challenge to you, it's probably insignificant for someone, but they're still real challenges. Now they're part of everyday life in business. So what I recently did, I conducted a small poll with some businesses, and I asked them what they thought, what their number one challenge was, and this is what the poll showed. I was pretty gobsmacked to find that finding customers was a number one challenge. I mean, there's not much difference between finding customers and time and fatigue. Are they so tired that they're out there trying to find customers that they got no time to do anything else? I think that's half the challenge with business, small business owners. I guess the day of, going out there, setting up a business, telling your friends and family, all that kind of stuff, that doesn't work anymore. You really need to be proactive when you've got a business. You've got to be on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But, what happens though when you're on, you're too tired to do anything else. You're too tired to actually focus on your numbers as well. So we're going to talk about how we can focus on our numbers without it being so difficult, okay? And how QuickBooks can help you do that. Making profit, marketing and social, I guess that's just part of all the hats we wear as small business owners. We have to do it all. Hence why we are so tired and so fatigued. So today I want to go through how we can help you simplify some of those challenges using QuickBooks Online as a tool. Now I can't give you the solutions for sales and marketing. I think there are other events for those. But I will show you what we think are best practice and how you as small business owners and bookkeepers and accountants should be running your business or your client's business at the very least. So the first thing I look at when I take on a new client, I look at how they spend their dollar. What tools, what are they doing? Are they using cash? Are they using checks? Are they using credit cards, EFTs? It's all about simplifying your spending, because it all starts with that. If you simplify how you spend your money, it will all fall into place. When you are using a tool like QuickBooks Online, it's about looking at your business processes as well, not just plugging and playing a software. Because if you don't have your process right, the software is not going to work for you. So the first thing we do is we say to our clients, make sure you're only using business debit cards and Visa cards. If the banks aren't going to give you a business card or a credit card, isolate one of your personal ones and only use it for business. Just isolate it. Don't mix business with pleasure. We recently had a client who we were going through his stuff and we said, Jack, what are you doing to us? You've got to pull the cards back from your wife because she's just going to the hairdresser, she's getting her nails done, she's going to the beautician. And he goes, Lielette, my wife doesn't have my card. He goes, oops, I think that's me. Well, okay. That was very embarrassing, meet him. He didn't think he was going to get caught out. But there you go. If you don't want to have that unpleasant discussion with your bookkeeper while you're spending $200 at the hairdresser, then isolate your cards. Cash is not king. Cash is, for any small business, it is a headache. It is an absolute headache. You want to try and avoid using cash where possible, okay? Anyone familiar with the ATO benchmarks and how that works in the cash economy? Okay, so where cash was once king, it is now not king. It is the pauper of currency because you have you can't use cash like you used to, because if you fall outside those benchmarks, you will get a, hey, hey Joe, we need to review your tax return or your figures because your cost of sales is not in line with your revenue. So, what's going on? Because, you've pulled cash out of that business, but you haven't changed your cost of sales and your expenses. So you need to be really smart if you are going to pull. And this is not a tax session, but I'm just trying to give you a background as to why cash is not king anymore. And also, if you're using cash, you need to record it. You need to, if you want to use cash and you want to claim it as a deduction, there's more steps involved. So it doesn't actually serve and support that whole simplifying your life. Transparency. With transparency, you keep life simple. So you've got your bank feeds, everything is connected. There's nothing else. You don't have to worry about it. It's done for you. So the reason why I say keep it simple and only use debit cards and Visa cards, because you want to connect them straight to your bank accounts. It's all about having them connected. So many times we see client files who aren't connected. They may have one and that's it, but they've got half a dozen other accounts and Visa cards not connected. So the software is not working for them to its full potential. So start connecting every single bank account. How do you do it? I'm going to show you in 60 seconds how you connect a bank feed. That's all it takes. 60 seconds. First of all, you need to ensure that you have a bank account set up in your chart of accounts. In this case, I'm just going to set up a ANZ bank account and make sure it's a cash and equivalent account for it to be a bank account, or a credit card for it to be a credit card. And then you go back to your dashboard, you go to connect, and most of the major banks are on the dashboard for you, or you just type in the bank name. You connect, and we're going to do a new connection here. You put in your own CRN number. So it's not something you disclose to your bookkeeper or accountant, it's your personal internet banking details. And then you map it to one of your bank accounts. Once you do that, all your transactions will appear up to 90 days. If you need to bring in more, you can import a CSV file. But there you have it. We now have live bank feeds coming through your QuickBooks account. That's it. So in 60 seconds, you're connected. So I'm going to take it one step further, and we're going to talk about bank rules. Why do we have bank feeds? Because life is so much better with bank rules. Okay? I love bank rules. So the whole idea is that you want the software to start working and for your spending pattern. If you're always spending money at Bunnings and you're a tradie, you don't want to enter every single invoice. We know it's material. We want to create a rule that says every time I go to Bunnings, I want it to go to materials. Officeworks, I want it to go to stationery. Caltex, petrol. So I'm going to show you how, again, we do that in 60 seconds, creating a bank rule. So bank rules are work in progress. You're not going to create a rule. You're not going to create rules. Let's see, is it working? There we go. So you go through your bank statement, your bank feeds, and as you can see here, I have a Coles transaction that I want to start creating bank rules for. So I go new rule from my dashboard, my bank feed dashboard, And once you do it once, you'll master it. No doubt I'll create a monster in you of bank rules. You'll start creating all these rules because the whole idea is you want the software to work for you while you're asleep. So you map it to where it needs to go. So I've got a Coles supermarket here and I want it to go to purchases. So if I had Caltex, I'd want it to go to petrol. So you've got two choices. You can set them as automatic so you don't even see them. They just go straight to your P&L or balance sheet depending on what type of expense it is. Or you can view them like I am here. I'm viewing them. There is a rule created and I'm going to select them all, and in 5 seconds I'm accepting those. So there's no data entry. Bank rules eliminates data entry. Bank feeds does too, but bank rules is even better. So familiarise yourself with bank rules. That is the number one, I guess that's the number one, what's the best way to say it? Pardon?
Time saver.
It is a time saver, but it's just a way of life. If you're on the cloud and you're using QuickBooks Online, if you're not using the bank rules, you may as well just cancel your subscription. We love it. We hate repetition as well. Anyone who knows me knows that I don't want to do something twice. Don't repeat the same task. You're just going around in circles like our little green friend. Yes?
I've got the bank feeds and I'm in rural New South Wales.
Sorry, I'll just grab a...
Sorry. I've got the bank feeds on, but one of the problems that I've got, I've had it for a while, is it might take, sometimes it will take 2, possibly 3, sometimes even, 5 days before the feeds will actually come down, and then they'll all sort of come down in bulk. And I'm
Sorry, what bank is that?
Commonwealth.
Commonwealth, okay.
So I'm just wondering whether there could be something to do with, I don't know, internet connections.
What
or
I would
bank itself.
suggest,
Yeah.
now he's saying that his bank feeds aren't downloading,
They're
or
definitely
5-day delay, something
there's,
like that.
Yeah,
A delay.
and it's indiscriminate. Sometimes it comes straight away, and then
Yeah.
sometimes I think, well, where and I
Have
to
you
wait.
deactivated your bank feed and reactivated it?
I have done that in the past.
Okay.
But
Try it
doesn't seem
again.
to resolve it. Yeah.
Try it again, deactivate it and reactivate, but just be very careful though that it doesn't import.
It throws all the,
Yeah,
I've actually done that a
and
couple of
exclude the
times.
duplicates.
Yeah, I have actually done that, and it's still an ongoing problem,
Okay.
so I don't
Have you
know.
contacted the care team, and had
No.
someone look at it?
No.
I would suggest, because that's not normal.
All right.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
definitely not normal. We've got clients on CBA and we don't have a delay. I would expect maybe no more than a 2-day delay. But yeah, 5 days, there is something going on with the scraping or something behind it. Yeah. So definitely contact care and let them log into your system. Yeah. Oh, our friend is still spinning here. Okay. Automate your reminders as well. The system has a great reminder tool, and I'll show you that in a minute. But I had an aha moment last week where I thought, oh my God, these reminders we can actually use for cash flow forecasting as well. Didn't even think about that. But I'll show you what I mean down in a few slides. Reason why you want to automate as much as you can. Again, we're doing so much. We're wearing all those hats, okay? So don't rely on your memory bank. We've got so much noise going on in our heads. Use the system to automate what you can. Practice, set and forget. I love that. If I can set it and forget it, but I'm not ignoring it, it's doing what it's supposed to do. And put your business on autopilot in everything you do. Try and automate as much as you can. Integrate the different things, the different apps that we're going to talk about as well. Recurring transactions. Has anyone used them here? Does anyone set anything on recurring? Okay, wonderful. The people who haven't, I'm just going to show you how quickly and how easily it is to create recurring transactions. You go into your cogs and you pretty much go recurring transactions, you go new, or you can do different types of recurring transactions. It doesn't just have to be 1 or 2. So in this case, we're doing an invoice, a customer invoice. So a client who is on a monthly support contract, if you've got fixed type of billing, this is perfect. rather than going into your system and every month doing the same kind of invoice, create an invoice that can be scheduled or automatically sent. So I'm just ticked here that I want it to go automatically. So, and I'm putting an end date because it's a 12-month contract. I don't want it to invoice after 12 months because I want to increase my prices after 12 months. I mean, I could automatically have an increase invoice go out too, but I'd have to send a letter with that. So again, I'm just doing a normal type of invoice, but I'm setting it up. I'm putting everything that I need on that invoice to go out every month. I could also add an attachment if I needed something to go out with that invoice as well. So as you can see, we now have a schedule of a recurring invoice. I can do the same for, say, my rent. I don't want to always have to enter that because it's the same thing. Supplies, my landlord's not giving me an invoice, but I know what my annual rent is. So I can put that in there as well. Insurances, anything you can think of that is a regular expense. And set it up that you have it as a reminder as well. You want to be reminded about it. Reason is that there is another screen that populates your reminder list. That reminder list is perfect for doing cash flow forecasting. So all you need to do is put DD on it because it's a direct debit. A lot of people, when they're doing their cash flow, forget about the direct debits that come out of their bank account, their motor vehicle repayments, their rent, all that stuff, insurances. So they're up for a nasty surprise. So yes, so definitely use that as a good reminder of your cash flow. And this is the setup, this is the reminder list I'm talking about. So when I did this example, I didn't put DD in front here, but I would actually put DD for direct debit and the date it comes out. So when you look at that list and you want to project your cash flow at a bird's eye view, without having to go into too many reports, you know exactly what your cash position will be once you factor those amounts in. So utilise that for your cash flow forecast. And if anyone's not doing a cash flow forecast, you should do it. As a small business owner, did you?
Just coming back to recurring transactions.
Sure.
Would you use recurring transactions or rules, or one overrides the other?
Rules will always override. He was just asking, do you use recurring or rules? That's a really good question. I would still do the recurring. If you don't want to use it for your cash flow purposes, then you don't need to. Yes, rules are fine as well on their own, but you won't have that bird's eye view snapshot. And for me, I'm here standing in front of you today is to try and give you the best bird's eye view without having to invest too much time. It's all about simplifying, keeping it quick, keeping it simple, so you know how to run your business. Another favourite of mine, capture expenses on the go. Who hasn't downloaded the QuickBooks mobile app? I'm not talking about the self-employed, the QuickBooks. Everyone's got it? Perfect. It is the best mobile app on the market for accounting software. Now, it is ideal. If you're out at the coffee shop and you are having coffee, what you need to do is really take a picture, capture that expense, upload it, fill in some details and toss it out. You don't have to do anything else with it. If on the other hand you want to use another app called Receipt Bank, and that's a brilliant app, if you've got a lot of supplier bills and you want to put them on their 30-day payment terms, if you have stock, if you have a lot of contracting invoices, then it's great. I would be using Receipt Bank. But if your business is just merely like it's more of a cash type business, then you're okay just using the mobile app. I'm going to show you the difference between both of them. Now, the QuickBooks mobile app works in a different way to Receipt Bank. You go to your expenses, you take a photo of the receipt, but you still have to enter the date, the amount, GST, but it takes you all but 20 seconds to do, and it's done, as you can see. The other good thing is if you've paid for it from your own personal cash, you could also then say it's paid from cash, and I would have that cash linked to your own personal loan account. So then you know what the business owes you as well. And again, I'd have that sitting on the dashboard, so at any given time, you know what the business owes you. So that's how that works. How does the Receipt Bank app work? A little bit different. All you need to do with this one is just take a photo and press submit for processing. So it's got less keystrokes because it's got an OCR where it recognises the data and it automatically populates the data for you. Okay? So that's the difference. Effectively, it does the same thing, same outcome, just a different process. So Receipt Bank are one of the exhibitors. If you haven't gone out to see them, and I would highly suggest it if you're not using it. So that ends up, so this is how I use it on the mobile app. You actually can use it also on a desktop as well, okay? And you can control it a little bit more on the desktop. So that's why we capture expenses on the go, because I don't know about you, but the one thing, my worst nightmare is when my husband says to me, "Where are your keys?" I go, "They're in my bag." And I'm like, "Oh God, all these receipts in my bag. Oh no, he's going to have a heart attack." So I don't have that problem anymore. So who can relate? Any woman in here can relate? Yes, I'm seeing lots of nods. So yes, that's eliminated the whole embarrassing thing about, where are the receipts. So, auto matching. So you've taken the photo, you've uploaded it either via Receipt Bank or the mobile app for QuickBooks. The benefit is here, where you're going through your bank feeds and you can clearly see that it's matched that transaction. The expense, that $32.70 we uploaded, has been matched to the bank feed. I don't have to do anything else because I've pre-coded it and I can just accept it. So all those little bits and pieces, if you're out and about and your business is mobile and you're incurring lots of different expenses, why wait until after? Do it as you go. You've got the phone, do it. And that's it. It's that whole set and forget and toss that receipt out. You don't need to keep it because it's stored in there as an attachment as well. So if ever you decide you no longer want to use QuickBooks, you can actually export all those receipts out as well. But you'll never do that because you're staying on QuickBooks forever. Okay, expense reimbursements. Who here has staff? Mobile staff? Okay, great. Well, you're going to love this one. This is absolutely amazing. So with QuickBooks, the payroll functionality comes with expense reimbursement. So the whole idea in today's world is if you want to grow your team, you want to grow your business, it's not about creating more work for you guys, it's about sharing that workload and empowering your staff to start being responsible for some of the tasks within your organisation. So involve your team, don't create extra work for you because there's no way you can scale and grow and strive for success without implementing, these kind of little processes. You need to document your policy and procedures as well. So whatever you do, if you're asking your staff to start using apps to help you run your business effectively, you must document them because you know what, they could abuse it, they might not do it properly, and then the whole experience becomes very unsatisfactory. Be an employer of choice. All the young people that are coming out want to work for organisations and businesses who are using this kind of stuff. But don't just use it because it's trendy and hip. Use it because it's going to improve your business. So what does this log in your expenses look like? I'm going to quickly show you what it actually does look like. So your staff log on to their own portal. Every staff has their own login, so they can put their timesheets in or they can add their expenses. So in this case, what's her name? Can't even see who I'm logged in as. Anyway, so this Jane Smith, she's trying to claim expenses for office supplies. So rather than complete a spreadsheet for expense reimbursement, she's doing it directly on the mobile app, and I've mapped all the different expenses that I think are allowable expense reimbursements from our chart of accounts, and they apply for an expense reimbursement. She can have several expenses, and the GST gets picked up as well. She attaches that, and then that goes for authorisation for me to approve. So I can either approve it before the pay run, or when I'm processing the pay run, it props up to say that you've got X amount of expenses to be authorised. So it's simple. So I've put the onus back onto my staff, and it's coming up in the payroll. So they get paid an expense reimbursement. It's so easy. It just removes that whole spreadsheet stuff. So you may have noticed I'm not a fan of spreadsheets. If the software can do it, get the software to do it. Yes, Teresa. Sorry.
Is it possible to pay the reimbursement before they put the
Pay run?
Yeah, before they actually put the form to claim in?
No. Oh, no, because it would need to go through the software, and then you'd need to go approve, authorise, and then you would create an ABA file, like an electronic banking file. So why would you want to pay?
We know exactly how much it's going to cost them to purchase something, and if the amount is quite large, it's not fair to expect them to be paying for that and then make a claim. So we want to always pay them in advance so that they could use that to...
Absolutely. Yes, you can do that. You can do that. So what I would do, I guess I would map that to like a clearing account, like an expense in advance, put it on the balance sheet. When the actual expense comes through, I'd offset it against the balance sheet. So yes, so you could do that. It's just the way how you would map it. Yeah. Okay. So, did I just? No, I'm still on. Yes, Ian.
Hey, Lielette. Hello. Do you think there's a way to use these features for petty cash?
Yes, definitely. Most definitely. You related to staff directly who are using petty cash or using petty cash? Well, I'm not a fan of petty cash. Monica knows that. Monica's a lovely client of mine. And we had this conversation this week where, same question, petty cash, and I said, well, no, we really don't want to do petty cash. Just give them a debit card with the limit and have that linked to the bank feed. A debit card with a small limit. Why use petty cash these days? So I'm sure the banks will give you a debit card with a very small limit so you can see real time. So we've got to stop thinking about petty cash. We're using an online accounting system. So for me, petty cash is so yesterday.
The online accounting system is just recording what the businesses are doing, and they are using petty cash systems.
They are, and if you are using petty cash, then scan, take a photo of the receipt, upload it, create the petty cash like a bank account. You just don't have feeds. Sits on your dashboard, so you know exactly what the outstanding balance is. So I would treat it like a bank account without bank feeds. Definitely. Yes. Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. Just while we're on mobile phones, I haven't actually used the mobile phone. I was using it a little while ago, and I haven't been using it for a while now.
Yeah.
But, and I do notice it's been updated, and there's quite regular updates with
yes.
it. My wife and I would like to use the mobile app, but I'm just wondering, do you need to, because she has to have a different password to my password to access the same.
She will. You both will have access. If she is a user on your file, if she's a user on your file,
yeah,
she will still need to log in with her access,
okay,
her email ID, but you would both have access to the same file real time.
Okay.
But she needs to be a user in the file.
Okay, all right.
And
Maybe
then she
that's what we have
downloads
to do.
it, and then she logs in under that user ID.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
you're
Yeah.
welcome. Yeah. We have another question, Darcy?
Let's keep it on the other side of the room.
Yeah, sorry, he's just... We should have actually had you all sit together because I'm sorry, I've noticed I'm more on this side because of the screen, so I can't really. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. This question is that you can't get rid of petty cash for a small business because it's just like a usual thing for any small businesses like cafes.
Yes.
Just example, like
Yes.
they gotta buy something, but debit cards might charge something extra for the business. They rather just go and pay $2 for a lettuce. I'm just saying.
Okay, let me challenge you on that. All right.
So no, I'm just asking, like,
Yeah.
as he said, you can create an account.
You can.
Like on a chart of account, you just create just like a cash account or something.
Absolutely, that's exactly right. So you would create it as in the chart of accounts as under cash and equivalent.
Yep.
So it needs to be, that's the detail type, and then you would just create petty cash. Now you might have petty cash for I've got some clients who have different types of petty cash in different departments. So you can create as many. But if it's on the cash and equivalent, it will be on your dashboard under bank accounts.
Under bank.
That's what you want. You want to, again, it's that whole bird's eye view. What is it that you want to see at a glance really quickly? What your liability is, what your exposure is. So even loan accounts, I will create them and put them on the dashboard. And then at the end of the year, I will do a journal because I know the tax accountant doesn't like to see loans under bank because it's not. It's either a liability or an asset. So then I just quickly journal it, be end of year purposes. And then when that's done, I don't care because operationally, this is how it works best for the client. So you've used the system to work for you. So don't, just because your accountant says, no, it's a liability, it can't be on the bank. Yeah, I hear you, but I want it on my dashboard. Your job is to journal that at the end of the year where it needs to go for tax, because there's two different purposes, tax and operational. And you've got to do what suits you operationally as well. More questions? Okay. Tracking income and getting paid. The bane of many small business. We live in an IG world. Who knows what IG means? I love you. Instant gratification. That's the kind of world we live in today. Everything we do is now, Demand for wanting and receiving things, it seeps into every corner of your life. If it's not your life, it's your children's life. They don't want to wait for things anymore. They want it now because their friend at school has it. My son, these fidget spinners, who's heard of them? Fidget spinners? Yeah, okay, well, yeah. Everywhere. He wants it now, like crazy. So, big companies count on consumers. They count on us, shoes. You go online and you buy. You want it now. You don't want to wait. You want next day delivery. Big companies send you an email with an invoice and they're not going to sell you anything unless you pay now. So, as small business owners, why should we wait for our money? Why aren't we affording ourselves the same luxury that big business does? Patience is no longer a virtue. I don't care. People say patience is a virtue. That's crap. It is no longer a virtue anymore. And like I said, it seeps into every part of our lives. You can just look at those logos up there. They're all instant gratification. You want to make a restaurant a booking at a restaurant. You don't get on the phone anymore. You go onto your Dimmy app and you book it online, done, instant. I get notification, I'm booked in. Facebook. You're out there and you've checked in at a great restaurant. You want people to say, wow, now, because it's a like. That's right. You don't want to wait. You want people now to acknowledge that they like what you're doing. Tinder. Well, gone are the days where people go to bars and clubs to meet people. They swipe right and swipe left. So it's instant gratification. And the rest, LinkedIn, Expedia, booking holidays. You don't go to a travel agent anymore. You just book it online. That's the kind of world we live in. So why don't we make use of that as well? So why don't we make it simple to give our clients instant gratification by letting them pay us now? If we let them pay us now, that's instant gratification for them. So some of the payment options that you should look at for your business, if you haven't already, is Stripe, Square and PayPal. All these three integrate with your QuickBooks. They work like a bank account as well. They'll sit on your bank account page that you would reconcile as normal. Money comes in, money goes out. You get money that comes in from Stripe, you transfer it into your main account. You get money that comes in from your PayPal business account, you transfer it into your working account. There are some differences. I encourage you to do your homework, but there are some major. I guess Stripe works great if you have an online business because it's embedded into your website as well. Okay, and there is a 2-day delay with money coming in. There is a mobile app now as well for it, so you can accept mobile payments. Square traditionally is more for I guess if you're a mobile type business or a cafe, like it's got a great little point of sale system. And also it does accept mobile payments and it's next business day settlement as well. PayPal is the old kid on the block. It's reliable, it's secure, but it comes at a price tag. So I guess you've just got to work out what's important to you, what's going to work best. There are different, some people are price point driven, some people are more security driven. So it's not, there isn't a one solution for everyone. But what does it look like when you've got PayPal linked to your QuickBooks file? So this can look like, this can be adapted for any of the other ones as well. So I'm just going to take you through what it looks like when I raise an invoice and it goes to my client, what it looks like for them. So that's when you're raising an invoice and I've linked my PayPal business account. PayPal does accept Amex as well. Okay. So I've created an invoice, I'm sending it. This is the email, send now. They get it in their inbox. There it is. They view the invoice. And another green button's going to come up with pay now. So they press that. That will then take them outside of the system. They don't have to have a PayPal account either. They can log in as a guest or as a PayPal user. So, but can you see it takes them into the PayPal system? So it's taken them out of the system. And that's okay. So what that means, they've paid it now, it's instant, it's $10. If they don't pay it now, they're going to forget about it. And then I have to chase up $10. There goes my profit. So pay now, brilliant, money in my bank account instantly. And I also get an SMS to say, well, not an SMS, a notification, because I've got the PayPal app on my phone. So if you have the PayPal app on your phone, you'll get notification when someone has paid you as well. So it's real time. Chasing money, speaking, sorry, yes? Yeah.
When you download the PayPal transactions, it doesn't actually record transactions details. So it just calls up the payment and the amount, but it doesn't record what it was for. And we've spoken with the care team, and they said it just happens to be that way. But I think it's a very important feature because
when we get paid from our clients,
yeah. So the invoice isn't being paid, isn't raised through QuickBooks.
Oh,
because
okay.
if it's raised through QuickBooks, then all the details are there. But
that's
well,
the solution.
you know, we can't. We have a POS system that's separate, independent.
Sure.
But yeah, like one of the things I think, just like the bank statement, like if you're extracting it, and you should be able to extract the details of it. Otherwise, the transactions is almost a bit meaningless when you come to audit it.
Can you, if you're logged onto your PayPal account, can you export more information? I think you can, because so maybe that's the workaround, because you are using an external invoicing system. So you might have to look at, okay, well that's fine, at the end of the month I'm going to, or however often you need to do it, weekly, export the data into a CSV file and import it into a PayPal bank account.
I understand
Yeah.
the way around it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's absolutely, good feedback, but Darcy? I think you get a settlement figure with Stripe, but you can, I think it depends on how you've set it up, because I've got clients who use it and it's just, everyone's different. So some have the detail and some have a settlement figure. So yeah. What I suggest, and I said this to the other group, download these apps, play with them, integrate them with your file. It costs you nothing, because a lot of these apps come 30 days free. Not that you've got to pay for these ones to use, but anything, any kind of app you see and you think, you know what, I think this can help my business, download them, integrate them, play with them, tweak them. If it works for you, great. You can see the value. Nothing costs if there is value. So, yeah. We'll look into that for you, about the Stripe thing. I can log on to some files and see how that, looks like. Okay, so I've just chased in money. It's painful. You know, save yourself the hassle. Automate your collection process. Now, you can automate it using QuickBooks, or you can look at some of the apps. Be top of mind every time. The person who screams the loudest gets paid first. Some of the options available to you to automate your debtors. If you have a large database, I probably would suggest looking at an add-on. If your database is reasonable, it's controllable, you just need to give a gentle reminders every now and then because you've got your debtors under control, then you could utilise QuickBooks, some of the functions in there, and I'll take you through that. So Debtor Daddy, Invoice Sherpa, IODM are all partners of QuickBooks and they integrate with it. If you haven't gone onto the Apps Store, it's www.apps.com. So that's the apps page just for Intuit. So all the apps that integrate with QuickBooks are on that site. So what does it look like sending out reminders? So the art of sending out reminders in QuickBooks is simply very easy. You would go to your outstanding invoice list under sales and you would put a filter to say, I only want to see my invoices, my open bills, my open invoices. And you would go through and highlight which ones you need to send out. So none of this, let's PDF it, let's raise an email, let's send it. It does it all from the software. Select the ones you want and batch them, and away they go. And you can draft the email however you want it to look like in your settings as well. So the client gets it. In this case, I don't have a pay now button, so I guess my client's not going to pay me. So that's how you send out invoice reminders. Okay. So the next one, like I said, if you want to stay top on mind, you've got to send out statements. I know it sounds, very old-fashioned, but when people send me statements, it's on top of mind that I haven't paid a bill, because sometimes we just forget. So send out statements, and how easy is it to do that in QuickBooks? Absolutely brilliant. So again, you're in your customers, and you put a filter to see who owes you money, and then you just tick them, go to your batch, send statement, and always send the open ones, because if you send it brought forward, they're going to ask you what it's made up of, and that's an extra step you don't want. You just want to give them all the information. And that's how you send a statement in 30 seconds, less than 30 seconds, to all your customers. So leverage him. So using QuickBooks and some of the apps, it's all about trying to increase your profit. Get more for your buck, okay? That's what it's all about. Improving your productivity, your customer service, to give you guys back time. Time that you can spend with your families or doing things that, hobbies or things you love, going to the gym, all that stuff. So business insights. Information is power, okay? But there's lots of information. Do you need it all? Probably not. It's not worth measuring. If you're not going to measure it, why keep it? Without the right tools, it's just more noise you have, okay? There's lots of noise. I call it noise because that's what it is. You've got emails, you've got social media, and you've got your accounting system. Everything is telling you stuff. There's information everywhere. So the first thing we see when we start with clients is the data is so unreliable. Who here would say that their data is 100% correct? Or yours would be. I should hope so. Rosalind's a bookkeeper. So clean data makes good business decisions. Okay? That's all. Without it, it's garbage in, garbage out. Okay, so make sure it's reliable, readable, and it's regular. All those things are very, very important. There's no point only looking at your financials once a year or twice a year. You need to be looking at them regularly. You need to have a set of reports that are weekly, how you manage your business, and monthly. So sales is something I would look at every week. So I don't know about you, but that's me sometimes, especially after QB Connect. Yeah, we all feel like this. We run businesses. We're all too tired. Who has the time to look at financials? It's like, yeah, I've got money in the bank. That's all I need to worry about. You know, my Baz is due in a couple of weeks. Super's due. She's sweet. We'll make it work. It doesn't work. You just then plod along. But you know what? You want to grow your business. You want to really understand your numbers. So you have to not be afraid anymore.
Client says that's what I've got an accountant for.
Yeah, but the accountant...
That's the accountant afterwards.
That's right, that's right. But the accountant's not going to give you stuff that is available to you in your software if you've mastered your software. You know, that's why, you know, QuickBooks, that they say it's seriously easy. It's not a plug-and-play system. If you've got someone who has set it up for you properly and has, you know, gone through the processes of your business, then yes, anyone, you can use it. But it's got to be done. You've got to have the foundation built in. That's as a small business owner. Every small business should invest in someone just helping with them and consult on that. So this is my favourite. I mean, I love kale, but I couldn't eat it if it wasn't sliced and diced. That's how I digest it. And your financials is exactly the same. Okay, you're laughing. You know it's good for you, okay? Financials are good for you, but you just don't want to look at them. Reality can sometimes hurt. And our ego, we're all, you know, we're all business owners. It's our ego that comes in, you know, wow, I'm not doing so well this month. But you know what? Information is power. And with information, you can make changes. So how can you use your financial reports to help you? It's all about bringing your finance to your operations. Introduce your finance numbers to your operational numbers. Okay? What that means is that it's all about, if you've got a staff that are working for you, you really want to know how profitable they are. You know, what's the gross profit margin per employee? What's the sales per employee? Because when you start dissecting and looking at those numbers, you then start know what your capacity is. If you've increased sales, but your cost per employee has gone up, then something's wrong with your model. But if you've increased sales and your cost is the same or less, then you know that the model is working and you know you've got longevity in the business. So these are numbers. These numbers are more important than even your net profit. Okay? And turnover, a lot of people go, oh, it's my turnover. So turnover's got nothing to do with it. It's all about your profit. So I see a lot of businesses who just strive. They've got that $1 million. For some reason, they want to turn over $1 million. And it's like, yeah, but you're going to turn over $1 million, but your profit's going to be less because your variable costs are going to go up. So the next one is mix and match. So look at your profit and loss in your balance sheet. But again, guys, if your data is not clean, these numbers mean nothing. So the first thing you need to do is work with clean numbers. And you can only plan by looking back. You've got to look back at your numbers to give you insights into the future. Identify and understand your key profit drivers. This is one thing that a lot of businesses don't really understand. The reason why I'm going through this with you is because all this information is available in your QuickBooks Online. It's all there. If your data is up to date, you've got your bank feeds, you've got your rules, it's all reliable data, and it's all been reconciled. So the one thing, I won't go through them all because I'm running out of time, but price. If you want to make the biggest income biggest impact, and income in your business, the one thing you need to look at is your price. Price per unit, price per item, whatever it is, price per hour, because that's going to have the biggest income. If you were to add an extra 50 cents onto some of your items, multiply that out by how many times you sell that product a year. That's the impact to your bottom line. Okay, so price, look at your price. Use the product codes in QuickBooks. If you are selling different types of items, start recording that data to then say, okay, over the course of 6 months, I've sold X amount of this type of product. If I was to increase that by $1, what impact is that going to have on my bottom line? So rather than looking at trying to increase and getting more customers, sometimes getting more customers is not the solution to growth. It's actually looking at your pricing. Because when you get more customers, you've got to put more people on. And your cost of sales go up. So it's a false economy where we think sales, is the way to grow. It's not necessarily the way to grow. You want to grow and keep your life simple. So, and there are obviously all those other ones too. But take a photo, and they are on the app, all the slides. So creating custom reports, just quickly, I'm just going to show you how easy it is to create custom reports. I'm just creating a basic P&L by month up to March here, and I'm creating a report group called New Management Reports. You can call these weekly reports, you can call them Dan's reports, you don't have to share them with anyone, they're just yours. But if you want to share these reports with your accountant, then you put them onto the shared list. So I've created a report, and I'm creating a new group here, right there. And then I'm going to share that as well. Whoever has access to my file will have access to these reports as well. Yes. Yeah. Oh, keep watching. So I'm going to create another report, which is just a balance sheet. So I wish I could fast forward, but I just wanted to show you how simple it is to create a batch of reports. And then what we're doing, we're going to schedule that those reports get emailed to us every week. Now you could have those schedules where they go into your accountant, or if you've got another, a business partner, how great do you look? These reports are going to them automatically. But it also keeps you accountable to keep your books up to date, because you've put a schedule, smiles there, you've put a schedule in place, so you need to keep your books up to date. It keeps you accountable. So I'm setting up a schedule here that each month I want these reports to go out on the 10th. And email, put a message in, and that is set and forget reports. Now I can also bundle those reports in my management report pack, because QuickBooks does come with also standard management reports. So we can do that as well. So things like sales by product, sales by class, job costing, all those additional reports. The only reports you can't add in there, which is payroll. That's the only report. I've tried every way, copied and pasted, I just can't do it. So that's feedback to QuickBooks. We need to be able to add some payroll reports. Okay, so we're not going to go through the monthly management reports because I don't think we have time. I do? Oh. 1 minute, okay. So the management report is just a standard report pack within QuickBooks. There's a couple of them. But the beauty about it is those custom reports I've created, I can add them into my management report pack, or I can deselect the ones that are already in there. I can make notes and comments to myself, why my sales were high, why my sales were low. It's great for your bank. If you want to go for a loan, presenting financials like that, how professional do you look? And you've done it yourselves. You didn't need a bookkeeper, you didn't need an accountant, because your accountant only sees you once a year. Yeah. But I do suggest though that whenever you do engage and work with a consultant to get you started, to set you on the right path. And once you're set, you only need to see that person. I mean, that's what we're doing with Monica. She's running her own, interior styling for homes, you know, came to us with, you know, doing things, and we've set her up mobile. She's out there, well, she will be soon, quoting on the mobile app, and, you know, rather than going back to the office and then doing her quotes, she's got now more family time. So that's what it's, sorry, I didn't mean to. Okay, so we'll just, pardon? Yes, if you want a house, in my pad property styling. Okay, so let's recap. We're almost done. We've simplified your spending. That was the biggest one, okay? Your clients, you know, we all know, as bookkeepers, we know that it's all about simplifying your spending, and you guys as well. So now I've given you some insight into why it's important, and you've seen how the bank rules work and how the bank feeds work, why we strongly suggest simplify and only use debit and credit cards. And if you are using petty cash, set it up like a bank account so you can control it and you do have full visibility. Life is better with rules. You know the bank rules anyway, not all rules, but bank rules, yes. Repetition is boring. Be smart and automate. Utilise the reminders and alerts because they can become very useful for cash flow forecasting. Staff reimbursements. Get them to do it themselves. That's what it was, Darcy. I said it was a DIT and I didn't know what it stood for. I forgot. Do it themselves. Get paid for the work you do now. Don't wait. Be big, not small. And chasing money, stay on top of it. It's very painful, but use those reminders, send them out, use the batch functionality, statements. Confront your numbers, don't be scared of them. You see how easy it is to produce reports and produce the ones you want to see, you know, every week, every month. And use financials to make better business decisions. You know those key profit drivers because it's not just about looking at a P&L and a balance sheet. It's how to take that data out and make that data tell a story. So I'll leave you with this. I guess this crystallises everything we've pretty much covered today because we live in a fast-paced world where speed to market, speed to providing a service is your only competitive advantage amongst whatever else, you know, any business you're in, it's how you react to market. So it's not an accounting thing, but I guess I'm just leaving you with a little bit of a tip that, you know, and if you're using systems like QuickBooks and you're using it to its full functionality, you can be quick, you can be agile, you can serve today's customer and tomorrow's customer. It's all about serving tomorrow's customer as well as today's. They're more agile. You know, you've got to be, that whole saying, be proactive, not reactive. I think that's crap. I think you've got to be reactive. And you can be reactive when you're using a system like QuickBooks Online. So thank you, guys.
Two questions. I know we've got questions on the way through, but we might have time for a couple of questions.
Hi, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Can QuickBook generate reports for investors? All the KPIs, you know, the internal rate of return, the return of investment, I mean, all this.
You know, I've got some clients who have property investments and stuff. We use classes. We use the classes to, I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about, but to dissect, you know, the different share portfolio type. We use classes. Now, it's not a software to do like self-managed super funds or anything like that, but you can dissect, you can use the classes and locations if you wanted to isolate different properties and stuff. Is that what you're asking?
Not exactly. I mean, if an investor wants to buy your business.
Oh, yes.
And you're looking at the break-even point, you're looking at the net present value, all that stuff.
Well,
I mean, do you link it to another software or it can generate all those?
Go on, Ian. Oh, yeah, you've got Fathom and Spotlight. Okay, both of those we use Spotlight for our clients, and what it is, we mainly use it for clients who need, say, consolidation accounts if they've got more than one entity. So we'll consolidate just at the click of a button. Fathom does, yeah. They do. So you want the net present value type of, yeah. You can calculate all that because you can build your own formulas using Fathom and Spotlight. Okay, so yes.
So last question. Oh, here we go over here. Hang on.
probably not entirely related to what you've spoken about, but it's something I want to know. I'm new to QuickBooks, very new. I'm an old MYOB person,
Yeah.
but I've transferred. I have a client who uses Combiz.
Yes.
Every time I go on to download his bank, it's asking me to put the token in again.
The multi-factor token
Is
thingy.
that the norm, or have I done something wrong?
No, not really, because we've got clients who are on Combiz as well. Oh, actually, yeah, we do, but no, we do. We have one on Combiz and we don't have that issue. So I think there's different types of security, and I think the one that he might have requires that whole multi-factor.
Get it download, I've got to put the token number in.
Okay, but it works after you. Yeah. Well, at least it works with the token. I have seen it where it doesn't even work with the token. Yeah.
Well, thanks very much, Lielette.
Thank you, everyone. Around if you have questions. Yeah.